Our first inductee tonight really needs no introduction. Doug Auxier has commanded the industry's attention for more than 50 years. As Joe Busher of McMahon's Bottled Gas, who nominated Auxier, told us, he's one of those guys who, when he stands up and starts talking, you tend to listen.
Ohio propane marketer Doug Auxier has guided the industry with a strong voice and commanding presence for more than 50 years. Auxier learned about hard work at an early age. He helped his father with the family farm before joining the Army. When Auxier returned from the service, he continued his work on the farm while assisting his father with Auxier Gas. He also launched his own trucking company at the age of 24. Auxier Gas began as an appliance business in 1946, prior to becoming a cylinder company and ultimately a commercial and residential propane supplier. But the dynamic of the Auxier family and its businesses all changed one day in 1978 when Auxier's father died in a propane accident. The tragedy led Auxier to not only begin overseeing the family business practically overnight, but also become involved with industry associations. My father's passing led me to evaluate safety precautions closer and try to convey safety concerns to others, Auxier told LP Gas. I wanted to show that the mistakes we made could be avoided by others, which led me to become more involved in the industry so that I could convey this information to the associations. Auxier's association involvement has come at the state and national levels. He was president of the Ohio Propane Gas Association in 1988 and 89, and as Ohio's state director with the National Propane Gas Association, he was recognized as State Director of the Year in 1992. The award honors recipients for excellence in communication, work with NPGA committees, and meeting attendance. One of Auxier's most satisfying industry efforts came in the mid-1990s, when he co-founded and served as the first chairman of the Old Midwest Convention. His leadership in the industry continued at the national level as he chaired NPGA committees focused on safety and market development. He went through the chairs and ascended to NPGA chairman in 2003. Auxier also served on the Propane Education and Research Council from 2005 to 2010. He was part of a council that was beginning to find a big-picture voice after its formation in 1996. Auxier says his involvement in the industry has helped to increase his business success and overall passion for propane. He remains owner of Auxier Gas and resides in the Cincinnati area.
Well, first of all, it's an honor and a pleasure to be able to speak to you all. It's also very humbling. But before I go too far, I'd like to tell you a story. Story's about a guy named Tommy that a little less than 5 years ago had a serious accident. And unfortunately, Tommy didn't survive. But Tommy was an organ donor. And today, I stand in front of you with Tommy's lung. I didn't tell you that for sympathy. I just told it to you so that maybe when you get the chance, you'll consider being an organ donor. That's the only reason. I've served on 30-some committees, councils, subcommittees, task forces, executive committees, boards. And so I've decided to say thank you to as many people that I can and that I thought of over a short period of time. Now, bear in mind, I realize I've had 3 years to do this. I've only changed it 300 times. So bear with me. I know I'm going down a slippery slope, as Jim told me, Berlesmeyer, but he's probably right. But I got to thank you for the people who befriended me and took me under their wing at an early age. It's guys like Ralph Rooney and Elliot White, Tom Noonan, Milford Therrell, Charles Raffier, Sam McTeer, Bob Myers, sitting there. They always treated me well and respected me, and sometimes I probably didn't deserve it. I want to thank my dad for going into the propane business, because he was selling gas ranges, but the people couldn't use them because they didn't have anything to burn in them. So he got in the propane business to sell that. I want to thank our past leaders, guys like Jack Capps that got me involved in the National Association, Dan Myers, Rick Rolden, and now I got to follow Kaminsky. You know, a guy can talk. We're also very fortunate to have great leaders on the Perks side. Roy Willis, my good friend, came up to me tonight, and that I always enjoy more hunting with him than talking business, but Tucker Perkins, who's somewhere around here. We're very fortunate to have people that work that hard in our staff for us, I truly believe. There's some other people I'd like to thank for just being my friend and being here. Joe and Naomi Cordell, Stuart and Ann Weedeye, Randy and Denise Doyle, my buddy Tom Klein, Gene Bissell, and certainly not least, are my great friends Joe and Rosie. They have Busher. They've been as good a people as there is, and if there's any better people in this world, I haven't met them yet, and I don't think they're around. I've had some interesting life experiences with some other friends of mine that are in this room. Many of you don't know that there's a motorcycle gang in this room. It's a rough, tough, really tough gang called the Rams. And that's Randy Rutherford, Doug Auxier, Keith McMahon, and John Simcox. We've ridden the length and breadth of this country on motorcycles and enjoyed it. And now Randy sold his, and now the other one's talking about selling those. But it's a motorcycle thing. Now there's another thing I like to do. I've found my way down to Florida. I snuck away from my office a few years ago, and I realized I didn't know the hell I was going. And so I've got another friend down there that I spend a lot of time with, and his knowledge has very much blessed me, and that's Jim Bertelsmeyer. I want to thank my children. They've turned out pretty good. They never really caused me much trouble. They both married above their pay grade. I've got 4 grandsons and 3 of them are here, that are, I wouldn't spoil them or anything, pretty hard on them all the time. And they're giving all signs of being great men. I'd like to say that as I've named all those people, how blessed I've been to have the wonderful knowledge to be in meetings with them and to enjoy them and be able to. A lot of times I sit down at the table at these meetings and I realize that I'm not the smartest one in the room. Really realizing that ladder where I'm at, and it ain't the top. And those people have been very kind to me, very generous, and I truly appreciate it. Now, I'd like to thank our employees. One of them's here now. They treat our business like it was theirs, and I really appreciate and thank them for that. And then I want to thank my partner, critic, Charlie Rivera word correctress, and my best friend, January. Thank you.